Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a full face of makeup that I'm currently trying to pan. I do currently have 3 projects going, they're all project pans in general. One is a 19 and 2019 project pan. I'll leave all these videos linked down below. The second is a roulette pan collab, and that has probably been my most favorite project to be a part of, just because it's a collab with so many other ladies and it's been so fun to watch everyone else's progress, and it's just a really fun way to format a project pan. So that is probably my favorite way that I've done to pan products. And then the last one is I'm currently trying to pan 19 separate eyeshadows in 2019. So I randomly selected shadows out of all of my different palettes, and I'm trying to pan shadows out of some of the palettes in my collection, which that project was a new one for me this year, and it's actually been really fun as well. So if you guys are interested in any of those videos, they'll be linked down for you in the description box below. But if you're interested in seeing a full face of makeup I'm trying to pan, so like these products, I've really, for the most part, have been super thoughtful about what is in my projects this year so that I can truly have a shot at painting them. So a lot of them are my favorites, and the look that I create today outside of the eyeshadow look is something that I pretty much do from day to day, so it's kind of like my everyday go-to look. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, then just keep watching. Okay, so I'm looking exceptionally glowy, which is shocking to me, at least in my monitor I am. I already went in with my Glam Glow Glow Starter Mega Glow Illuminating Moisturizer, and this is going in my roulette pan collab. So this one is the deepest of the 3 shades. They have 3 separate shades. I've already gone through a full one of this in the lightest shade, but I thought it would be fun to get the deepest shade for the summertime to kind of give me like a bronzed glow. But I just don't love the finish that it gives. I much prefer the lighter one for my skin tone. I just feel like this makes me look too fake. So I probably will end up repurchasing this, just because I really do enjoy this moisturizer. I like the luminous finish that it gives. I don't necessarily think it's like the most hydrator moisturizer ever. But for the summertime, when I'm doing no foundation, I like to pop this out, and it smells like the summertime. So long-winded explanation for this is what is currently on my face. I wanted to let it sink in before I go in with my primer. I currently have 2 primers going in my project panning journey of this year, but the one that we're going to go in with today is my Becca First Light priming filter, and I usually just take about 2 pumps of this, and then obviously just put this one all over my face. One thing I'll say about a project pan is like you really learn whether or not you like a project. I used to think I loved this primer, and upon like using it every single day, it's not like my absolute favorite that I thought it was. I just feel like it does help with the longevity of wear of my foundation, but I used to think it did a lot more than I feel like it actually does now. So this is one that I feel like I don't necessarily need to repurchase when I finish this. If this were to go on sale during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, that's when I first purchased this, and then I would consider repurchasing this. But this is an expensive primer, and for not being my favorite, I would probably only purchase this if it was on sale. I have 3 foundations going in my project pans. The one that I'm closest to being done with is my L'Oreal Pro Glow. This is going in my roulette project pan, and I have to even shake it to get stuff out. So I've just been using a beauty blender with this. Sometimes I use a brush and then a beauty sponge, but we're just going sponge today. For concealer, I have 2 concealers going in my project pans. I'm going to be using the Naked Skin concealer today, because this one has kind of been getting pushed off to the wayside lately. I've been using my First Aid Bendy Avocado concealer, and then I've been testing out some new concealers, so I really haven't gotten a ton of use out of this guy. So okay, now usually I go in and set my forehead for sure with a powder. I don't necessarily always set my entire face because I do have drier skin, but I always find no matter what foundation I use, I feel like I just get foundations that sink into my forehead lines, which I don't love. So I'm going in with my Charlotte Tilbury Hairbrush Flawless Finish Powder, which is going in my 19 in 2019, and I just like lightly dust this over my forehead just to help combat any settling into those those pesky forehead lines. And then depending on which concealer I use, sometimes I'll set my concealer, sometimes I won't. I feel like today I may set my whole face with powder. I think I'm going to set my under eyes. I'm just going to go ahead and set my under eyes just to be safe today. I don't feel like this powder ends up ever looking too dry on my skin. I mean, there have been like a rare occasion where I'm super dry and flaky that like, I mean, you can just see my skin flaking off. But overall, I do really like this powder. I don't know that I would buy it again because it's $45. And honestly, I really enjoy the Too Faced Primed and Poreless powder. That was one of the first powders I ever bought. And I thought it was good back then, but then I thought a lot of my products were good back then just because I didn't have a lot of experience with a wide variety of products. So my mind has changed quite a bit, obviously, over the last couple of years, but I still really enjoy that Primed and Poreless powder. I'm going to set just down the bridge of my nose too. I have like a line right here. And then my nose and my smile lines, we're just gonna set because Lord knows I have a super runny nose right now. Okay, I haven't quite set like the sides of my nose because I'm going to go in with my Hoola Quickie contour stick and quickly contour my nose. So this actually is not going in a current project pan, but it was in my 18 and 2018 project pan and I wasn't able to finish it. This is how much I have left, so I'm just like determined to finish this off. Hopefully in maybe February. I feel like I could probably do it. I know it won't be done by January, but that's okay. I primarily just use this as a nose contour unless I'm just like running errands. Then sometimes I'll just do cream bronzer and I will use this. For bronzer, I actually only have one bronzer going in all of my projects, and I really learned my lesson last year about how long it truly takes to go through a bronzer. So we are using the Becca Sunlit bronzer today. I have mine in the shade Capri Coast. No pan yet. I don't know if I'll be able to use up this entire product this year, but I will just be excited to hit pan, which I think I'm totally capable of doing. So I'm just going to start with my forehead, and I'm using my Morphe R2 brush just because for me, I personally just like a blown out bronzed look. I don't care too much about being like too precise. Plus this just gives kind of like a warmth, like a nice glow to the skin. It's not like a super intense, like highly pigmented bronzer, so yeah. So for blush, I have 3 blushes currently going in my projects, and honestly, like that's gonna be a stretch to, obviously I really don't think I'm gonna be able to use up a blush. I'll just be happy to hit pan, honestly, even in like one of my blushes, because I feel like blush is one of the hardest, if not the hardest, products for me to get through. I've never gotten through a blush or a highlighter or hit pan on one. Today I'm going in with the Hourglass Mood Exposure blush. I just have the mini. This is the one I've been focused on, one because it's a mini, so a part of me feels like it'll be, or it should be, the easiest to hit pan on. And then also this is going in my Project Roulette pan, which ends in March, as opposed to my other projects. I have a full year to try and get through them. So plus I do just love the Mood Exposure blush. Okay, so we're gonna jump into eyeshadow before we come back to do highlight. Now, I currently, like I said, have quite a few palettes where I have a specific shade or a couple of shades in that palette that I'm currently trying to pan. And then I also have this Charlotte in Bloom palette, which I have going in my Project Roulette pan. I hit pan on the shade Charmer in our first round of our Roulette Project Pan collab, and now I am working on Funny Girl, which I'm so close to hitting pan on. So I really want to incorporate this, but I don't want to do like the boring everyday look that I have been doing, even though like really my mind is just saying to do like a warm brown smoky and then put a shimmer all over the lid. I have actually been doing more of like a cool tone brown out of my Mario Master Palette by Mario palette. Oh my god, I can't speak. I've been doing like a cool toned brown out of that and then pairing it with this. But today I think we're going to go in with my BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. I've really been enjoying this palette lately, and I'm currently trying to pan the shade Escape right here, which is this warm matte shade, and then this shimmer shade right here, which is in the shade Boho. I don't know if I'm going to use Boho today, but I know I'll use some of the mattes out of this palette, and we'll just see what kind of look we come up with. Before we jump into the eyeshadow palettes, I forgot to mention, I've been using my NARS, what do they call this one? The Soft Matte Complexion Concealer, actually as an eyeshadow base. This is going in my project pan. This was a rollover from my 18 and 2018. I did not do so well on it last year just because it's not my favorite concealer to conceal underneath the eyes, and that's usually, like, I usually am not spot concealing too much. Maybe I'll dive into that more this year, but I have repurposed this product as an eyeshadow base, so it's been going better that way. And then I do have this Wet n Wild Nude Awakening palette in my 19 Shadows in 2019, and out of this palette, I'm just working on this bone colored shade, so I have been using this just to set my lids. This one's kind of like a cheat shade, like I really should easily be able to hit pan on this year. Okay, I quickly filled my eyebrows in since I don't currently have an eyebrow product going in a project pan. Last year I was working on my ABH Brow Powder Duo, and I hit pan on this last year, and the pan is like expanded so much even in this month of January, so super excited. I typically just go in with a brow powder, so I really enjoy the ABH Brow Powder Duo. I use the shade Ebony. Okay, now for the eyes, jumping into my Tartelette in Bloom palette, I'm first gonna go in with this Sweetheart shade down here just to warm the crease up just a little bit. That matte shade that I'm working on in the BH Cosmetics palette is just like a little bit deep in my opinion for like the original transition shade that you go in with, at least in my opinion. Now, I'm not very skilled at makeup, and especially not very skilled at blending. One of my goals is to get a little bit better at blending this year, so that's why we're just starting here with Sweetheart. Okay, now with Sweetheart in the crease, like I said, I'm going to be going in with my BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. This is such a good palette, you guys. If you have been on the fence about it, I would definitely recommend it. It's $18. You get a mirror. You get, I think, 18 shades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 shades. 20 shades. And they perform so well. So I'm going in with this Escape shade. And I'm just taking this in the crease as well. And I'm taking this again on that same brush, but this is a super fluffy brush just to try and help blow that out because it is a very pigmented shade, and I've worn this palette, like shades from this palette, for a good like 10 to 12 hours, you guys, and it's not like you are at the end of the day and you have no eyeshadow left. Like, your eyeshadow palette or your eyeshadow is still intact. So the quality of this palette is just truly incredible. Okay, so next I'm going to go into this deepest brown shade in the shade Hipster, and I'm just going to pack that on to the outer V. Okay, so next I'm going to try something a little bit different, and I'm going to take this peachy, it's kind of like a satin shimmer shade right here. It's called Candy, and I'm going to take that all over my lid, and then I'm going to try and pack that shade from the Tartelette in Bloom palette over that to kind of give it just a different effect. As you can tell, this is like a peach, like pretty peachy, but I'm just going to try and lighten it up then with that Tarte shade. Okay, so this is what it looks like just with candy all over the lid. And then, like I said, I'm going to be taking Funny Child right down here, this champagne shade. And I'm going to pack that over candy. Okay, I'm truly getting annoyed. I thought maybe I would hit pan on Funny Girl today. I'm just like, I feel like I'm just over the Toilet and Bloom palette just because for a while I was just using this because I loved this palette last year, and then I put it away for a while. Then I brought it out to pan this shade, but while I was panning this shade I was using pretty much the entire palette, and then I probably just shouldn't have brought this into my Roulette pan collab because I've focused so much effort on this palette. I mean, look at that. Like, you can tell this is a used and abused palette, but still no pan on Funny Girl. But I think we're going to call it quits on this look. I'm going to finish off obviously underneath the eyes, but I'm not going to do anything more detailed on the actual lid or anything. So right now I'm trying to pan the Essence Extreme Lasting Eye Pencil in the shade 2 But First Espresso. So I'm going to take that in my lower lash line. And this is just a really nice deep brown shade. This really does last all day. I have never found a pencil that lasts in my waterline line longer than this one does. I don't think I'll have any sort of issues panning this, but I've never tried to pan a pencil before, so I'm really interested to see how quickly you go through a pencil. Now, I've gone through some of the MAC pencils in the past, like when I was only like exclusively doing the same makeup look every day, before I really got into like YouTube and exploring other brands other than MAC. So then on a flat definer brush, I'm just going to take a little bit more of the deepest brown shade in Hipster and just push that about a third or halfway into my waterline. Then on a little, what do they even call this? Well, I'm taking an eye shading brush to blow out the lower lash line, and I'm just taking a little bit of that Escape shade on it. And then I'm just going to take the tiniest amount of candy and push that like from like my inner corner, like the first third of my eye or waterline. And then for inner corner highlight, I'm going to take this Trixie shade right here, which is just a really nice, really light yellow champagne shade. Okay, I'm going to quickly pop on some mascara, and then we will finish off with a highlight and some setting spray. I don't have a mascara going in any of my project pans, and actually I don't have a setting spray either, but that's okay. I will be right back. All right, you guys, mascara is on. For highlights, I have two highlights currently going in project pans. One is a liquid, one is my Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. This is what mine looks like. Now, on days that I'm going to work, I just go in with the subtle side of this highlight, which is the one, if I hit pan, I think it'll be the subtle side, which I think I can. I'm gonna be so sad if I don't. But days that I'm filming or like not going to work, I usually just mix the two together to get a little bit more of an intense highlight. So that is what we're gonna be doing today. And I really love this highlighter. I was thinking to myself yesterday, like, if I finish this highlight, which I probably won't finish it, but if I were to finish this highlight, would I buy another? Because my highlight collection is truly out of control, and I'm trying to like reel it in this year. And I was like swatching this highlight compared to like some of my other highlights that I thought would be dupes, and it wasn't. And I was like, if I finish this, I would have to go buy it. This is by far one of my favorite highlights in my collection. I just absolutely love it. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that I have it going in my project pan then, because even if I finish it, I'd buy another. But I'd also be interested in seeing like how long it truly takes to go through a highlight, and I have to like the highlight to like be consistently using it enough to kind of get an idea of how long it takes to go through a highlight, because let me tell you, I know it's going to take a long time. Okay, I have a few lip products going in project pans. The one I'm going to use today is my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Rum Punch lipstick. This is how much I have left. Still quite a bit. This is by far like the lipstick in my collection that gets the most love. It truly is just such a comfortable formula, and I do love the shade as well. This is another one that I think I'm fairly confident I can finish this year, and once I finish it, I will repurchase this. I have toyed around with purchasing more Rainforest of the Sea lipsticks, but before I do that, I need to declutter my lip collection. That is the area of my makeup collection that honestly gives me the most anxiety, because I know I have too much. I have like my 10 to 20 lip products that I always seem to go back to. And I think I have over 200 lip products right now, so ridiculous. But after that, you guys, that is going to conclude my full face of products currently going in my project pan. You guys will have to let me know in the comment box down below if you are currently trying to pan any products and how it is going. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.